Okay. The clock is 10 and it's time to start. They're still popping in some people. That is awesome. We really appreciate you guys taking your time for be live on this type of training. As you can see, I speak English, and the reason is very simple. My good friend and Mr. Santa or Santos from Managed Channel hold a presentation. He's a bit lousy on Swedish, but you will learn one day, right?
Yeah, of course, definitely.
Definitely. No, and we also have some customers joining from Iceland and from other countries, so that's why we keep this in English. This is kind of like a small introduction on our training part. This will be recorded, of course. We try to do that all the time, so if you feel like there's somebody else in your organization that needs this information, feel free to just pass it by, because it will be wrapped up, cut everything on that, and sent as an email directly after. Usually Marcus is really fast doing that, so you should have a copy by the end of today, usually. There is a question box somewhere on your screen. Please ask as many questions as you can possibly can. I think by the end, Santos, we will take some minutes and have some Q&A sessions if there is any specific questions you guys have for this. That's basically all for me. Santos, this is your training. Please have an introduction and move on.
Thank you so much, Eric. Hi everyone, I'm so happy to meet you all this time of the year. We're wrapping up 2022 and I'm so excited to meet you all again. Hopefully next year we would be able to meet each one in person and discuss a lot more on the product and its usabilities. I am Santosh Mahiban and I've been with Manage Engine for more than 13 years. And I've been with the ServiceDesk Plus team doing trainings, consultations, user conference. And this time I'm here to talk about the latest self-service portal customization that we have introduced. And I wanted to share or help you to understand how the customization works and how it would make your life a lot more easier and better. All right, so with that, I'm just going to go right into the topic. I'm going to stop the camera so you get more space, screen space. So if you're looking into my help desk, this is a technician's login, and I'm pretty sure this is not something you would have had in your setup. And this is an end user's login. Now, this page, what we primarily call is the Enterprise Service Portal, ESM portal, where out of all the different help desks, you have an ESM portal to group and manage all these instances in one page. So this customization that you're looking right now is an HTML customization. So when I say HTML customization, in ServiceDesk Plus, you have space where you could like write the HTML code, refer these colors, the icons, the GIF that is being constantly played over here. You can add buttons to bring in different templates and all of that. So this is an HTML customization that we introduced. And if you ask me where you do it, you go to the ESM directory and you have ESM portal customization. So this is the space that where we did all this customization, all right? So you could basically see what you change is going to reflect on the right-hand side. Now, when you're doing this HTML customization, the same is the concept that you get when you go into a specific instance, into the technician's page or into the requester's page. So right now I'm inside the IT instance. There's the home page, and this is again an HTML customization that we did. This is for the requester, and this is for the technician. And if you ask me how we did that, on the home page you have technician homepage customization. So you can basically add a new widget, which is either an external link, all right, or you could write an entire HTML content here, or you can even upload a HTML file. So this is how the customizations have been handled so far in ServiceDesk. Now, what we then decided is that we want to give end users a lot more option to build these customization. So we first introduced the customization for the requester homepage, all right? And when I click on customize requester homepage, here's a new customizer, which is built over Zoho Creator, which is one of ManageEngine's product, all right? So this is how you can, we have supported new customizations moving forward. So as you see over here, in this particular customization, we offer a lot of themes by default. Now look into the themes that we have here. So this is something that was built over HTML. Now we are offering the same operation over a default package. So this is the latest feature that we have introduced. And with this, I can assure we are seeing a lot of trends that's being changed at the moment, because now customers who are not that technical into writing an HTML scripts are readily doing it with click of a button. So this is one of the flavor, all right? I'm just gonna pick one such flavor and I'm gonna click on edit. Now, as you see over here, with the default widget that we have, when I click on edit, I get a lot of noise, or I would say I get a lot of space over here. So let's see how it works. So I'm just going to open one more tab just so you can see the different textures. All right, so this is one such template for the end users portal. And if I go over to the requesters homepage customization, and if I click on try new customizer, I get one other widget. So this is something you all would have seen, right? This is the standard widget that we have. Now, this is exactly what you can further customize and automate. So that is the entire concept. And we've also introduced a couple of components that will help you to build a very solidified end user portal. All right. So if you're okay in choosing an existing widget, all you have to know is you can click and make changes as however you want. Very simple. Let's not talk about the left-hand side panel button, snippet, or widget. I'm just talking about this page. If you feel that you don't want a particular widget, just double click on it or just click on it and you can delete it. So that's an easiest way of just to remove these widgets off. If you want to change the color from burgundy that's at the back, you can just double click on it. You get the style and you can change to a different background or upload a new image. You want to change the padding of it. You want to swap the location of the background, how it's supposed to be. Like you want to move the content left and right, you can do it. If you want to just delete this particular element, you can just do that. All right. So editing an existing widget is quite easy. All right. And all you have to do is just double click on it. So as you saw, what I did was just delete it and it's now removed. So likewise, you want to make all these alterations or tailoring to an existing one, you can still do that. All right. So making changes to a page or a predefined template is quite easy. So all you would do is just click on edit with one of our one of the multiple flavors that we have, and you can just go ahead and tailor or alter if you feel that this is what you wanted to use. Likewise, if you have content with like text, you can go change it, and for the same text, you can change the text. You can add a different color to the text. So every single entity over here can be changed. You want to remove this button and update it with something different, go ahead and do that. All right. You want to update this button with something else more precise, or like report an issue, you want to put a pencil, you can do that. So every single entity can be customized right from the UI, which was not the situation earlier. All right. So what we are trying to convey over here is that with the default canvas that we support and with the series of options that you have, just by double clicking on any of the customizations that's there, you can perform so many operations. So you can choose what type of display content, what's the value of it, and under actions for a specific button or a specific entity that you add, You want to just have it with nothing added, just show what it is, or you want to embed a URL, or you want to like put in different widgets that's already available. You can go ahead and do whatever you want. And what's the style? Like what's the URL that you want it to open with? All right, and what's the action? Do you always want it to open in a new window, same window? You want to like give it as a pop-up? You can do all those customizations on a existing widget. So now I was just showcasing you about the default widgets that we offer and how easily you can just like click on it and make the edits. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you to a whole new instance because I wanted to do some playing around with it. So I wanted to take you to a whole new instance just for our trial purpose. So what I've done is I've created an instance for support desk. All right, and this is the admin or the technicians page, and I go to the home page and I go to the requester homepage customization. So as you can see here, I tried to do something else, and here is a page that's already available. So I am just going to switch to the same in my requester's login. I click on support desk, and the moment I click on it, it's just very simple, and there's a very limited data on the portal. So what does this mean is that I have embedded a URL, an interactive URL, which basically gives me reports. All right. And if I wanted to view a report, a productivity report, I've also embedded in the form of a button, and that opens up an interactive productivity report as well. So this is something that I just created just to tell you how simple a portal could be and how intense a portal could be. Now, how was this done? How does these customizations work? So it's quite simple how we wanted to start with. So my pages are going to be those new customized pages that you do. All pages are going to be every single page that we already have by default or the ones that was manually created. I click on new page. Now on the left hand side, you have these widgets. These are default widgets that we offer. Like you have popular solutions. You want that, just drag and drop. You get the popular solutions right away. You want to put in a request catalog, which is together, or you want to like just use something like portal usage videos, just go ahead and add it over here. So right within one sector, you get the portal usage comments, you have the popular solutions too. So this is how you go ahead and make these changes. Now you have different options, like you want to put a custom height or a custom value to it. You could just go ahead and do that. So that basically alters or changes the size of it. You want to add a title, you want to add a text. Say for instance, product portal usage, and I click on done. That particular content is added as a title. All right, so this is how you could like go ahead and add default widgets that's there. If you want to add a new widget, in today's case, we just have it in the form of HTML. All right, so just as how I showed the ESM portals customization, you have HTML codes or you have a developer that could help you with that. Get the code and update it into the system, so that would also be served as a new widget for anyone and everyone to use that over here. All right, so that is about the widgets. So when it comes to snippets, snippets are the very same. You either add a HTML code, all right, so since I'm not a HTML developer, I'm closing it. Or if you want to add a snippet, you can just embed the snippet right into the canvas. So all you have to do is just go to snippet and you just drag and drop the snippet in. And for the snippet, it asks for your URL. So URL is just going to be something that is always available. All right, that's something you can just go ahead and embed the URL. You can adjust the width and the height the same way I did for these dashboards. All right, so you could just quickly go ahead and add a URL and embed a whole new snippet into the system. So that is how you make use of the snippets. Now, if I add a new snippet, And for the snippet, if I choose to add the URL, all right, the URL should be an accessible URL. So say, for instance, I have my support desk, all right, and I want to embed that URL over here. So not only should I paste it, it should also render over here. And if it's refused in your internet, then the URL would not work. Likewise, let's just look into some other options over here. I don't want to click any of these. Let's go to manageengine.com. So you want to add a website and you wanted to call this as like a vendor website or vendor details or something like that. All right, you could just go ahead and add them. The only thing is that whatever you add has to be rendered. So you can check the preview, how it works. Then you see that, okay, fine, this is not something as a height I wanted. You can go ahead and change it. And you can see how this is going to be rendered. All right. So this is how you can add a whole new snippet, which is a web page. Now, if you find that, all right, fine, I don't want the popular solutions, all right, you could just go ahead and change it to 300. So the width and its value changes. And also, anytime you make these changes, just click on save, give a page name. Vendor support portal. Give a page name, click on save, and then you say save and publish for as a requester's homepage. Now, when I go over here and I'm just going to refresh this page, it instantly brings me up the newly customized UI. So I have the vendor's website over here for my reference. I have my complete web page listed. Along with that, I have popular solutions, sorry, the portal usage and the popular solutions. Now, the content that was shown here is because it's a technician's login, and it's not shown over here is because the requester's login and the appropriate solution is not listed. Now, if you find that this is something you wanted to remove, just go ahead and remove, but just so that be clear that this particular layout has to be saved in order for you to view the data over there. Now, we adjusted the width, we adjusted the height. If you want it to be a little more less, I can say 100, and I could just say done. So accordingly, the changes would take effect. So likewise, you could add an HTML snippet or you could add an embedded URL. So we added the vendor's URL. Now next comes this button. You want to add a button, you can just drag and drop it right here. So what do you want to call this button? All right, you can add a text. I can say data count, and what is the action you want this button to do? I click on the action. You can just leave it as a button, or you could embed a URL over there just to say like, click here to view the report, or you could use that button and use it for report an issue. All right, and again, the display name says data count. So you want to add something more useful, or you want to add a different data to it. Right now, you could choose between what's available by default. All right, so I want my awaiting approval to be listed as a button, and I'm just going to say my pending approvals. So the widget that I already have, I add that as a button, give a whole new name for me, and I've set my actions accordingly. And also, if I want the button style to change, I can choose a different font. The font changes, style, color, the fonts, the colors that's involved in it. All right, so however you want it to change, you can just go ahead and change it. So if you want to have a light color and the background you want it to change, you can go ahead and change that. You want a rounded button, you can do it. You want a rectangular button, you can do it. So this is exactly how you could add a new button altogether. And you want to delete an element which is a part of that button, you can just go ahead and do it, and then you click on save, which means that I have a my pending approval button listed. And if you feel that, all right, fine, I want to still customize this, all right? So you could just go ahead and make changes to it as however you want. So this is exactly how these buttons work. And you have the display of what is the display name, but action is basically data from awaiting approval, and style is something you can choose as however you want. So this is how you basically create the buttons. Now I made some changes. I wanted to see if these changes are in place. So I click on save and publish. When I do that, I can go ahead and refresh this page. And as you can see here, there are popular solutions. There is the survey, and I can click on my pending approvals. So once you click on it, it gives you an elaborated space. It lists you all the approvals from the system. So this is something that we have pre-built, we have pre-identified. We understood that customers will come up with a lot of these. So we will have to package these options by default. Now, just like that has how we saw the buttons, all right? Each and every button has its own different characteristics that you could make use of. Now, say for instance, I'm adding a new button over here. So I say configure, and I say the display name is going to be ticket count, and I'm going to say action. If you want to put an external URL and you want to refer a report over here, you could still do that. So for instance, let me just say, I go over here and I do the local host. I go into the facilities department, and the facilities, we don't have the dashboard, so it's under IT or HR. I go into the HR department, and there's a lot of these reports over here. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to customize the technician home page. All right. And since it's a support, I need to track my attrition versus hiring. So I'm just going to copy this. And once done, I can go over here and enter the URL. The best part is that the system would validate if this URL is reachable and if it's a valid one. If it's not, it would just error out right here. And also you can define the style and the type that you need, the fonts, the colors that you want on it. You can design all of this over here. Now, to this button, you want to add an image, all right? You can just go ahead and add the image. Now, to this image, you want to make a lot more customizations, all right? So you can add a button right on it, and you can go ahead and say what label name you want. I'm just going to say ticket messages. It's just tickets that I wanted to view, but I've just named it as ticket message. What's the action type you want? All right. And if you wanted to just check your completed tickets, you can just do that. You want to again alter, you can change the font and style. So when I click on close, and as you see here, I have this whole new segment, and let me just try to drag it. All right, so I have this whole new segment, and I can go ahead and drag where I want this to be. So I'm just bringing it all the way up, all the way a little more up. There we go. So I'm just clicking on save and publish. Whatever content I've done, I'm just going to refresh the requesters page, and if the data is not relevant, it's not going to be shown. If it is relevant, the data will be published. So I'm just going to click on save and publish again. And let's just refresh it over here. So this basically says how easy is it to create different widgets. So this is a report, and I'm just using it from a Power BI solution called ServiceDesk Plus. I've added a button just for my manager to see the attrition count. And if my manager wants to see the vendor website and its details, it's right here in one place. And if my manager wants to view pending approvals, and I have given it a different facelift, it's right here. And if I want my manager to check my completed tickets, I've added a button. It opens up as a pop-up. So this is just as how you could customize. So as you just saw, how you want the data to be populated, it's listed over here. Now, if I feel that the style is very plain and simple, and I want to add an image, I can use a lot of images from like built-in icons to like, I can add my own, I can do that. If I want to change the background color, all right, and I wanted to give something like light, I can go ahead and do that. So this is how you could like draw your own customizations. And believe me, we have like lots and lots of customers who make these customizations every day because their business demands it and they want things to change around. So if you have any such requirements, you can just go ahead and make these changes. So all it requires is just click on save and it's right there. And here's an add label that's been shown. You want to delete it, just click on delete element, it goes off. Just click on the close. Your entire content that you configured is right here. I want to do a background for this. Since it's a URL, you don't have a background that you could define. But if you wanted to change and update a new background, you can go to you can go to styles, you can change the font, the style of it. You want to bring a different texture, you can underline, bold. You can click on close. Again, you have displays, how you want the display name to be, action type, what action you want that to render. So you have a lot of these choices that you could do. And just like that, you want to add a new panel, just a whole new panel by yourself. All right, you could just go ahead and do that. All you have to do is you have different flavors of how you wanted to add those. You can just drag it, put it wherever you want, and it's just like too much of data that's revolving around it. So let's see what you wanted to put over here. So you want to get a request count, all right? And again, I just chose what data I want to display over there, and I want to say count of on hold tickets, all right? And then I want to change the action type. And you wanted to do anything, or you just want to leave it right there? I'm just going to leave it right there. Style. I want to change the color because right now it's in black. I wanted to put it in green. I want to bold, double annotate, and I wanted to put an image background. So I just want to change. So there's like the library of icons that I could use, or that's too much, something like this. And I want to change this icon to a solid color, and I wanted to replace it with something like this. Again, I want to change the color fill of it, and I wanted to put something green. There we go. And the count, it's going to give the value. So I'm going to say, I'm going to just leave it for now. I wanted to see how it works. Save and publish. And you can have the requester and the technician's page parallelly. So it just saved it. So I'm just going to refresh it again. So when you do a refresh, as you could see here, there's no count of completed tickets. And if you want to throw in a different label, all you have to do is just go ahead. Since this is the data value and you want the count of on-hold tickets, you can just go ahead and say on-hold tickets. And there you go. You have the message, save and publish. It's saving, it's saved. Then I'm going to refresh. You have a whole new widget. So this is how the new self-service portal or the requester portal customization helps the admins or the business to configure these changes for the end users however you want. And with ESM, all right, with ESM, whatever we've done right now is only for a specific instance, which means that I've done it for the support desk. If you wanted to do the same for your HR desk, go right to the HR instance, go to the requester homepage customization, and there you go. You again have a whole set of these. You can go ahead and customize. You want to, and there's again my pages, something that the users create themselves, that's stored in my pages. So this is how the new customization helps admins to configure or update the end user self-service portal using Zoho Creator that's packaged in the system to customize the widgets however they want. So this is a simple training session that we had just to discuss on how to effectively use the requester homepage customization feature that we have introduced in ServiceDesk Plus. So with this, I end my training session on my webinar for today. All right, and right now I'll be happy to take questions that you are going to add in the Q&A session. So kindly add your questions and I'll be more than happy to answer those.
Yeah, one question here, Santosh,
Sure.
coming in. It says that, can you write any type of HTML code to be used in self-service portal?
Yes, you can. You can. If you can do logics around like adding a GIF, an animation, a more like a very robust operation, you can do it, and that would work in our self-service portal. We have a lot of our customers who have done those kind of customizations too. So yes, you can do it.
I have a question also. I noticed you using the on-premise version of ServiceDesk Plus now when you demo, right?
Yes.
And is it does it work exactly the same in the on-demand version?
Exactly. So the on-demand also offers the very same customizations. So this is ServiceDesk Plus Cloud, all right? And let me just close all of these. And if you want to customize this for the end users, you can just go ahead and customize even in the cloud.
Okay.
Okay, I don't have a requester login that I could also show it parallelly, but the same is available in the requesters portal also. So as you could see here, this is the admin, this is the requesters portal customization. You want to configure some advanced configurations. Here you go. It's the very same logic.
Great. Another question, a follow up on the first one coming in is, could you bring any data from our system by adding these kind of snippets or widgets, like our system and not only Managerial system, I mean systems from maybe other systems in the organization that are open to share information?
Yes, that's a good question. So when you're adding the snippets and you're embedding an URL, the URL should be a published URL, because in some organizations, certain websites would be blocked and you cannot populate, say for instance, the Google website right into the homepage. If it's blocked by Google, then you cannot do it, all right? But if content like YouTube's or videos is doable, you can add them in. And also for the HTML code, it's exactly about like the product has its intelligence in blocking certain scripts which are vulnerable, it would block it. But again, if you're writing an HTML code for animation and so on, it would work. But right now, the other widgets that we offer by default, those are the ones that we have, and we don't have a lot of new widgets that you could add. But slowly we are coming up with plans to bring a lot more support, like to create more reports or more widgets and plug in then and there. So that's something that we have in the plan.
Okay, thank you.
So since there are no questions, I would request you to like upgrade, try the feature. We have also introduced custom modules in version 14.1. Kindly upgrade to the latest instance. Try these features out, and if you have any questions, you can always let us know and we'll be more than happy to help you out. So thank you all for your time and patience in attending today's webinar. It's so nice to meet you all. Again, for wrapping up this year, happy holidays and a happy new year. And we'll meet you all next year, maybe in a webinar or even in a user conference in Sweden. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Marcus.
Thank you.
You all have a good day.
Thank you very much, Santosh. And thank you everyone for joining today.